Part 6 of verifying the date format of an input string. Finally, we will put together all the pieces of our code that we have written in parts 1 through 5 and form the actual function that will verify the date format and formulate the appropriate output to the user. Okay, so let's see how it works in practice. Let's paste in our get day of the week code, and let's paste in our get month name code. So get month name. Let's try 3. Let's see what happens when we run that. March, which you can see says March. That's correct. So that's quick test. Let's do another one quickly. 12. We should get December. All right. So that's working perfectly. And let's test our Zeller's congruence. Let's test it on November 3rd, 2022, which should be a Thursday. Let's see what happens. And we get a Thursday. You can see down here at the bottom. So that is working as well. Okay, so the question now becomes, what do we do with our 2 new functions? Well, if we need to recall what our goals were, so let's remove, we can still keep this if you want for testing. But all right, so now we know you've entered a valid string. This is the logical negation. You have not entered a valid string. So if the string is valid, what do we want to do? Let's convert, let's figure out which day of the week it is. That's get day of the week. So we're going to need to call this function, but now we need to re-extract here in the code. We could write a function to do this, but we already have it here. So let's copy this into our main routine. All right, so we have computing the year, the day from, not dstring, from my string. dstring was the name of it in the routine. I just, for expediency, copied and pasted the code that we'd already written. So now we're protected here. Remember, when we're in this block, it's valid. So we wouldn't have a problem with this integer failing, in other words, throwing a runtime error, because we've already checked that. And we know that the formatting is correct, so these slices should be right. Everything should be right. So now let's call our function. Say this is weekday. That'll be the name of the day of the week. The day of the week. Now we have a month, day, year already. That's good with the same variables. Let's test it. Let's print that out. 1. Let's use an F string. So we'll interpolate the my string, comma, the day of the week was, we could say is, because it doesn't necessarily need to be in the past, but let's just say was. And let's see how this runs. Let's test it on a known date. We've already looked up that November 3rd, 2022 was a Thursday. But it says you did not enter, did not enter a valid string. I forgot the formatting. That needs to be 03. Let's try again. Okay. So November 03, 2022. You've entered a valid string on November 3rd, 2022. The day of week was Thursday, which is correct. So that is working. Yeah, so now we only really need to do one more thing. We have our function, the simple function to convert a numeric value of the month to the name. Okay, so let's write our suffix routine. Let's call it day suffix, or suffix of the day, but let's just choose day suffix here as I've got it started. We're going to create a variable called suffix to return to the calling portion of the control flow. So let's see, which are the 3 suffixes that we have to worry about? First, second, third, and then fourth, fifth. All the other ones are going to be THs. So let's see, which days would have a ST suffix? I'd say it's the 1, day would be 1, day would be 21, or day would be 21. So let's construct an if, elif ladder accordingly. So if day is 1, or day is 21. Remember, 11 would be the 11th, or day equal 31, Then let's say our suffix, that'll be my variable, is equal to st. And you don't have to line this up this way. Let's just line it here. Still reads well. Now everything else, what would the suffix be? th. All the other ones are going to be th. So let's pause for a moment, reflect on this. And by reflecting, I see that I have a typo here. I said 31, I typed 21. Okay. Now, of course, we need to return our suffix to the caller. Okay, so let's continue our code and finish. We can basically finish our program. So now let's report first. Let's print what the date was entered. The date string you entered was, let's do an F string. F for formatted. All right. Now that was my string, period. And let's, on a separate line, let's output what the conversion was. This date is, now actually I'm going to show you something here. Normally I like to have variables for everything, but I'm actually going to show you what I've shown in another video. We can actually make the call to the function right in the interpolation. So we don't actually have to create a variable for that. We could. I'll just say mth name. Oh, this would work as well. So let's do that. Okay, get month name of the month. Now here we will put the month name. That's my abbreviation, mth name. The date is, so that'd be like a January. And then you want to write the day. Then you want to write the suffix. So we didn't call that yet. So let's get the suffix from my routine, which is the day suffix. And here the input parameter has the same name, so we don't need to do anything there. So we'll put the suffix here with no space. So this would be the date is something like January 21st with no space. And of, let's say, and let's do the year. That will be really the main part of the program. Now we didn't do Zeller's congruence. We have weekday there. We already tested it. And we can say, and the date fell on a, let's put the weekday here, and this will do it, put a period. Now let's see what we've got. Let's run our code. All right, so let's say we do November. We've already tested this. Well, we say November 1st, let's say 2022. We know that should be a Tuesday, and it is. So let's see our output. You have entered a valid date string. With that, we're still testing. We need to get rid of that. The date string you entered was 11/01/2022. We're just repeating that so we can know what date we're working on. So our answer down here, looking up here, should be November 1st, 2022, and it fell on a Tuesday. Perfect, and that's exactly what we write. Let's test it a few more times. Let's do something with, let's do 11-03, which should say the 3rd. Oop. Okay. See, I have the 3rd. That was on a Thursday. That's correct, so it's working. Let's test the last one. Of course, you would need to do perhaps more robust testing. I'm just testing this very minimally. You can test your code more yourself. Let's do 22nd. And yep, it worked here. November 22nd fell on a Tuesday, and actually, yeah, perfect. All right, so the last thing we want to do, get rid of this, and then the output will be a little cleaner. Let's print a blank line so we can see the output distinguished from the input. Last little code. There's a lot you can do to make it appear better to the user. And you could test in this code if you want to have fun. You can find out what day of the week you were born on. Let's find out in the year of 2022. What day does Christmas fall? So December 25th, 2022. December 25th fell on a Sunday. Excellent. Thank you for watching. And this wraps up this problem, the final part in our series. I hope that you learned a lot through this coding example. And again, here, let me show you one. Let's review one more thing. We did not have robust error reporting. I will do a follow-up video on this problem. So let's do AA here and just put 2022 just for fun. You did not enter a validation. Remember, the way we approached it, we did not care to tell the user where the error existed in the string. I think that that's important. You would want to say, you know, whether it's a structural defect, which just doesn't have, well, it doesn't have a structural defect. It is 2 characters followed by a dash, followed by 2 characters, followed by a dash, followed by 4 characters, but this is non-numeric data in the day field, not the month field. I think that that's important to do, but in this quick coding example, we chose not to do that. We just chose to report that it was incorrect, and we kind of left the user to his own devices, which is, I don't think is really very good. And if you were probably tasked to write this program professionally, obviously it's not really big enough. But if you were, I'm just hypothetically, then you probably would want more robust error reporting. Nonetheless, that was the decision we made so that we could go through the logic of how we attack the programming problem at hand. And we did it in just over 100 lines of code. A lot of blank spaces. Very good. I hope that you learned a lot. I'm Tim Sever. Thank you for joining me for this video installment. Like the video, comment below if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe for updates regarding videos on this channel. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time.